Good morning, Algebra 1. It's Mr. Florio. This is Lesson 5, Representing Exponential Decay. The first activity, 5.1, two other tables where you're going to use the patterns to see if we can complete the tables. In this first one, we have 0, 2.5, 1, 10, 2, 17.5, 3, 25. It seems like all of these are going up by 1s except to that 25. I think these are all going up by 7.5. That one's definitely going up by 7.5. 7.5 plus 2.5 also ends up being 10. And if I add 7.5 to that, I think I get 25. So from this point on, I can just add 7.5. So 25 plus another 7.5 is 32.5. Now to get this last one, it's 25. So essentially, I'm starting at 2.5. When x is 0, I'm starting at 2.5. And I keep adding 7.5. I add it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. I'm going to have to add it 25 times. So I'm going to have to start at 2.5 and add 7.5 25 times. So 25 times 7.5. That's 187.5. Plus that original 2.5 is 190. So 190 is what we get. This bottom one here, let's see what's happening here. I'm going to ignore this first one. I'm going up by 30 here, but then if I went up by 30, I'd get to 70, not 160. Another way I can go from 10 to 40 is if I multiply by 4. And if I do 40 times 4, I get 160. So I think 2.5 times 4 is going to give me 10. Let me check that. 2.5 times 4. Yeah, that's going to give me 10. So this, I'm not adding, I'm multiplying each thing by 4. So if I want to get to the next one, I'm just going to have to multiply the 160 by 4. And that's going to be 640. Now to get to 25, this one's a little tricky. Again, I'm starting at 2.5 and I'm multiplying it by 4 25 times. So that would look something like I start at 2.5 and I'm multiplying it by 4 25 times. And another way of writing that is I'm multiplying it by 4 25 times. That's 4 to the 25th power. So if I were to do 2.5 times 4 to the 25th in the calculator, that's going to be a giant number. It ends up being 2.814749767 times 10 to the 15th. Just imagine moving this decimal place over 15 places. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's a giant number. Really, really, really big. And I just use zeros. You could use the numbers in the calculator gave me, but that's going to be a really big number. So I'm just going to leave it as 2.5 times 4 to the 25th. Anyways, that was it for the seeing the pattern of the two tables. Figuring out kind of what's going on behind the scenes allows you to kind of come up with like a general formula and a quick way to doing it, rather than just taking 640 and hitting times 4 and then again 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 25 times.